What is happening, y'all? Welcome on back to the next part of the walkthrough. Now, even though this isn't where we need to go, we are starting things off at the Cathedral of Manus Meter. Now, this is the initial starting point for the Finger quest line. We're going to be knocking out the entirety of that this episode. So if you haven't made your way over here, just to recap, you would go through Morth Ruins. That'll pop you out into Bonnie Village, work your way around and up, and then you want to talk to this NPC up here, and he is going to give you your first clue. Now, once you have that first clue, the actual first place we're going to go is over here, Finger Ruins of Rhea. We're going to shoot on over there, and we are going to get the first thing we need. Before we go, there is... might already have them on me. Actually, let's see. Take these off, and we will slap on Crepus Vial, as well as Concealing Veil. Now, having on the two of these is going to give you an effect similar to that of the, we're going to mark right here, just right in the center. But having on both of those will give you an effect very similar to Assassin's Gambit. And what that does is it's just going to make reaching our destination that much easier. There are a lot of really annoying enemies here that will try and like shoot you with this magic thing and then summon a dude on top of you. Having the two of those, we can kind of just run right past stuff, and then it's like, whoa, wait, there was a person there. So this is just going to help us beeline down there a little bit faster. The one isn't going to be in effect until we get off our horse, but we're going to try and get as close as we can while we're on Torrent, just to save some time and running. If we see a spell coming our way, we'll dismount. I don't believe the footsteps thing even really works while we're mounted. Pretty sure you can still hear the horse. But either way, that was a clean run. As a reminder, we have a remembrance duplicator that's on the cliff right over here. I'm zooming in right now. So if you didn't get that when you were here before, go ahead and sound the hanging bell. The guy just blows into this big finger. I'll get you the Crimson Seed Talisman. And then we're going to hop back over to the cathedral. You also notice we changed up our fashion again. Figured I was betraying my character. It's named Thunder Thrusts, and I'm using a bunch of fire stuff. It's unacceptable. Anyway, talk to him. He's going to be like, oh, I heard the bell. That's awesome. He gives you a second map, as well as Beloved Stardust. That is a new talisman. Shortens casting speed by the utmost, but increases damage taken. And it's pretty chunky increase, too. You can see our mitigation here. Jumping from a little bit over 10% in some categories. I'll keep that. So anyway, from here, we're going to warp over to the Hinterland Bridge Grace that we got earlier. Then I'll mark up where we're going to go now. We're going to get a Grace that's like right here. We're going to knock out a Falling Star. We'll probably hit Falling Star Beast first, actually. So we'll knock out him. We'll get the Grace. And then we're working our way down to about here for a, well, there's a duplicator will show. I believe it's there if I remember right. And then there's a Ash working it over there. So just slap those 4 marks on, and then head on over. Now, Falling Star Beasts are always obnoxious to deal with. Obviously, with these guys, you can use earth and sorceries and things to pump some decent damage into them. I'm just going to go with good old Great Hammer. Great Hammer gets the job done. Actually, do I have anything else bonkier than that? No, Great Hammer is going to be my best bet here. So we'll probably just shielding Great Hammer. We can run past all these sleepy boys. Don't worry, you're going to encounter plenty of them in just a little bit. Now, if you have gravity type magic, it really messes these guys up. Anything in that gravity field will pump some serious damage into them. Sit down. And Great Hammer just making short work of this poor thing. And one final bonk on the head to take him on out. We'll go back to a more dex appropriate weapon. I mean, to be fair, we can use that with dex. But either way, you get Gravitational Missile. Pretty solid spell. What's really nice about it is it creates a, basically like a CC AoE. It's going to keep vacuuming enemies into where the spell is cast. And then after a short duration, it's going to detonate. So I like using it in combinations with other things, you know, like you throw that out and you get, you use that as your crowd control option. You get damaged, and I think we passed our grace. I think it's right there. Yeah. So just a little bit off, but we'll get there fine. And to be honest, you're never going to come back here. Well, I guess you might for the remembrance, but go ahead and grab this grace regardless. And we'll pull that, and now we're going to work our way over towards 3. Which actually I might as well top off my stuff. Now you're probably thinking, oh, I'm just going to run straight east. No, fortunately this is a long cliff, so as long as you have the marker, that's the most important thing. There are a ton of finger creepers around here. I would suggest just running past them unless you want to deal with that. I certainly don't. You can see it's starting to get very foggy. That's how you know we're on the right track. See more of a cliff here. Should be safe to drop around this point. And this fog's going to clear in just a little bit, so just keep going. And we're just getting over there for the remembrance. I don't believe there's any remembrance I would need on this character just yet. Alright, where are we at? Where are you at? There it is, right here. So just to show the exact location on the map, I was a little bit off. But yeah, once you find something you really want, just come back on over and grab it. Now from here, we're going to just go south. Just go south heading. And once you see these two guys right here, 1, 2, that's how you know you're in the right spot. There's 2 finger creepers as well. Just kind of veer to the right of them. You'll notice a big old hole here that is filled with finger creepers. We are jumping down the hole. Once you land, it's going to be a big boy that comes, so kind of go wide. Get the ashes, and then shoot on out. This guy is not... He doesn't get affected by fire the way finger creepers typically do. If you still want to fight him, you know, just a big finger creeper is all. And now that we got that, the only other thing of importance is at the center. But thankfully, coming from this direction actually makes our approach pretty easy. We're going to be basically just like swinging up, and allow us to avoid a lot of the dudes that would typically be blasting us. So there's 2 there, and they're like, wait a minute, is that a dude? That's a dude! But it's too late. This is a pretty safe route, because if you're trying to just run straight here down the middle, you end up having this stuff that I said will like hit you, knock you off your horse, and then all of a sudden it summons ones on top of you. I think we had it happen earlier when we came here. But taking this route, for the most part, you're just kind of cruising on through, which is nice. We can take that off for the time being. I don't think it even helped us at all. We'll put that guy back on. Go back to our roots, a proper dex build. Blow the finger. And then from here, we're going to warp back to the cathedral again. And we're going to head on up and talk to him one last time. And we're going to buy any spells we want and exhaust any of his dialogue. So, sorcerers, you're finally in luck. He's going to give us one final clue, which is quite literally just a map of the cathedral. In terms of sorceries, Fleeting Microcosm, pretty solid, big AoE, big nuke potential. Glintstone Nails and regular Glintstone Nail, these are both very solid as well. This is very, very cheap for the amount of damage it can do, so it's a very FP efficient spell. And then this one just does more, but incredibly aggressive tracking on this. So if you are a caster, honestly, I recommend all three of these. They're great spells. But go ahead and burn through all of his dialogue.
And yet, the conceit is then the answer never was Marika, and this no man we have. He knew that it's a track that he would feel come in the play. Do you that Marika? Well, it is their mother fingers. We all are new.
Once his dialogue is done, you're all set. And if you want spells later and you didn't get them, we're going to get his bell bearing, so there's no concerns there. Come on over here. Once we reset the zone, we might need to rest. Let's see. Nope, he's gone. As long as he's gone, you're good to go. Yeah, this should work. Usually kill this boss with the magic or bonks. I'll be curious to see how things work with the backhand blades, because they are pretty impressive. The secret finger pathway. Go on down, and we're gonna get an invasion in just a second. Take out the Sword Hand of Night Anna. Get a very, very nice dex weapon. Those are bleed claws and we can throw them. Pretty awesome. Well, the Ash of War throws them. Finger cookbook, and then from here we just go up when we blow the finger. And then it's boss time. I hope you're ready for more finger, because it's time for the mother of fingers. Thankfully, unlike most fights in this DLC, this one's actually pretty chill. So this is the summoning area if you want to summon. The lore behind this is pretty messed up. So that is the mother of fingers. Look at this. Look at all the tubes. It's like the center of the internet. She's just connected to everything. But you can take your time, go on, pull out your mimic, get all buffed up and ready to go. It's one of the things I love about this encounter. Some stuff to look out for. She has a laser beam in phase 1. You can block it or you can dodge through it. In phase 2, that becomes like a multi-shot type laser. Just going for mimic, it looks like. You can use Indomitable to block a bunch of stuff. Roll the slam. She has a Godzilla beam. The attacks are pretty delayed for the most part. Obviously, since we're fighting in water, lightning is going to perform fantastic here. And the chest is actually the weak spot on it, but you can pump some good damage pretty much anywhere. Phase 2 starts. Let's back away from this. Big, big AoE. We're blowing this thing up, so let's slow down so we can actually talk about some of the moves it can do. So this is going to be the big spin. You can roll through this if it comes towards you. I have to slow down or my mimic's going to kill it. The side fingers there, that one's pretty annoying. And it does the Godzilla sweep? Oh, that's the triple. Okay. The triple, you can like block then roll, or you can indomitable and then roll. Trying to just straight roll it, it's pretty tight timing. This, it will summon up an area around either you or the mimic, and then those things are going to explode afterwards. Trying to get it to do its big move. There's two moves it hasn't done that I was hoping to show off. Come on. Let's see. Big move. Okay, so when it does this, you can see this beam. You basically just have to, like, avoid it. Like, physically avoid it. Like, the one is really wide. So you should be able to, like, space between that and the large AoE in the center. Or you can block it like you saw us do right there. But it's very much just like a positional type thing. And then there's another one where she'll send out multiple beams along the ground. I don't know if she's going to actually do that or not. But if she does that one, you can barely see the aura along the ground, and you want to just avoid those. It's the Godzilla sweep. We can just jump right over that like we did there. Yeah, meter's really not that bad. But the thing, I guess the best way to describe it, think of it like a literal giant handprint that's on the ground coming at you. And the idea is you'd stand between the fingers. So that's how you avoid the big slam attack if she does it. You'll see like an energy hand. I'm trying to think how else to describe it. It's the Ash of War for the weapon. It's very strong. But yeah, really not that bad of a fight, especially if you have a lightning weapon, because enemies in water take more damage to lightning, less damage to fire, but, you know, we're able to just nuke that thing. But the fight don't stop there. Hop back over to the Cathedral of Manus Meter. And now it's time for round 2. Go ahead, slap on any buffs you want.
You would abscond with it. The whole of Count Enor's wisdom. You undeserved.
So we already killed the one knight person, now we're killing the second.
My dear star, a fine mother, you will be.
My shining star, grant me a mother's strength. Look here at my fingers. I will be the
The
true
best.
mother, and I will be the only mother.
Anyway, just beat the shit out of him. He's gonna do some finger stuff and cast. You can very aggressively just get on top of him.
Truly, I desired to be your mother.
Get his bell bearing, the maternal staff, his set. And then after the fight, where we go? Out west. And we got a spell we can grab now. Cherishing Fingers. We'll work back one more time. Well, you could run back, but warping's going to be a bit faster. And then as we go on over here, you can see the NPC we just fought is just chilling. So, once again, very similar to the other one, there are two things that can happen here. Oculation is going to get you a weapon. Grace is going to get you an Ashen Summon. Now, we're going to be taking the weapon for the sake of the walkthrough, but we're going to also talk about the Ashen Summon. So the Ashen Summon is for her, for Katana Lady. However, when you get that, you may remember that from the Shaman Village, we were able to work our way down to the top of Rabbit's Rise. If you go there after you've obtained the Ash, instead of the Ash just being her, the Ash upgrades, and it then is her, as well as the Claw Lady. So you have both of them that'll fight for you. In testing, it unfortunately doesn't really perform as well as I would like. I think Divine Bird Warrior Ornis is able to outperform it with ease. We did this test against an Ancient Dragon, and they just unfortunately couldn't really stack up. But obviously, make sure you get that done. So looking at the time, we got meter, we got that. Yes, we could go take care. Well, first let's go get some. Let's talk about the upgrade, and I'm going to upgrade both of those. Those are both fantastic dexterity weapons. So over here, looking at the Remembrance, we have two options here. Staff of the Great Beyond. This is pretty unique for all casters because it's going to allow you to do sorceries and incantations. This got a very significant buff. At launch, it had piss poor sorcery scaling. It's now actually pretty respectable. It's not going to beat out, like, you know, ideal sorcery scaling staves, but it's going to be up there. So you get pretty decent sorcery scaling, around like the 320 range if you're equally leveling Int and Faith, and the fact that you can obviously cast both with one is a huge boon. For my Strength Boys, though, we have Gazing Finger, which is amazing. The Ash of War on this, Kotor's Resentment, that is the one where I said it's like a, you know, it's like a hand slamming down, and then it builds up and explodes. Think of it like a 5-way version of the Ruin's Greatsword Ash of War. It doesn't go as far, but the width of it is actually amazing. Very solid weapon choice. Yeah, poor Dex Boys. We haven't gotten anything in quite a while. I could probably use that if I dump some points. We're just chilling on all this stuff. We can pick up Gaius' armor while we're here, just to spend some of these runes that I'm seemingly hoarding at this point. I'm going to upgrade the weapons we got. So, like I said, claws are very solid here. They have scatter shot throw on them, 45 with blood loss buildup, and then Sword of Night also has some blood buildup. Pure strength scaling. What's really nice about that is it's completely unblockable. People try to put up shield, you don't care. You just chop right through them. So, very, very nice weapons for pure dex builds. I saw some people that are like, oh, Sword of Night's not good. I get interrupted doing the Ash of War. Like, you know, clearly you don't do PvP, because if you did, you'd understand how wild it is to have an Ash of War that can just slice and dice its way through any enemy. So from here, let's hop over to the Castle Watering Hole, and we can, yeah, we can get started here. Get started on this while we got some time. So before we do the Castle Watering Hole, we're going to want to pull on out Stone Sheathed Sword. That in the inventory, and then we are going to be abusing Rolling Sparks for this next encounter. So there are 9 visages you can grab in the immediate vicinity here. Not even going over to the castle, just like nearby. So, got 1. Got 2. Got 3. Got 4. 5, 6, oh, come on, 6, 7, 8, that thing's already standing up. Oh. I'll grab the 9th in a second. Let me put on Flame Protect Me. So once again, this is probably going to get nerfed. When it does, I would suggest you just use... That would have been 9 right there. When this does get nerfed, you know, I mean, these guys, they're just annoying, you know. But you could use Death's Poker to also do some good damage. Those confused why I'm saying this is going to get nerfed. Essentially what we're doing here is instead of locking on, we're just free casting this. And what it's doing is it's pumping out the entire ash, which is like 6 explosive volleys, all immediately on that foot. So it's causing thousands of damage. It's staggering them very, very easily. There's no chance this doesn't get nerfed. But at the same time, you know, it's like, we've dealt with these before. You can just smack them over and over and over again until they fall down. It just takes more time. So, while I don't really like the idea of like, oh, well, you know, using something that's very abusive in the walkthrough, like, at the same time, it's just going to take longer if that gets changed. But anyway, after that, so let's see, we got 10 from him. Let's see, 1 from dude, RSA 13 from the backside, then basketball live the other golem. Okay, so we have some other stuff here at Unte. If you've gotten the 9, this is the start of Unte, Ruins of Unte. We're going to swing around grabbing some more stuff. We have another visage we can get. We have some embers that are in this building up top. I have a revered spirit ash over there. That's what I was talking about with Death Poker. I'll show that in a second as well, since this is... I think we only have like 1 more of those guys, 1 or 2 more to deal with. RSA 11, there should be a silver horn tender. No, it's farther. RSA 9, RSA 13. White flesh mushrooms. Lost ashes, smithing 8 as we climb. Then there's another visage that's immediately in front that we didn't pick up. But you know what? While I would like to just blow this thing up, let me pull out the sword that I'm talking about and actually show y'all. I think that would be a good idea. So, give me 1 second. We're gonna grab that, and I can grab the other grace and the final one too. While we're doing this, we need to craft up a volcano pot. Stored held. I have one already, so we're good. Just have to have access to one of those to chuck in this thing's head and wake it up. We'll run down here and we'll grab... There's a grace down here, and that's going to be where we'll start the next episode. So we'll grab that right now. I'll pull out the alternative weapon that would be a good one to use for the inevitable nerf that happens to perfume bottles. I'll show you how you can blow it up with that instead. Now let's also make it the daytime so we can actually see what's going on here. Let's make it noon because it's rainy out. Alright, a little bit better. There we go. That's poker. So this is found in the base game. There we go. You can see we need 11 int to use this thing. Our intelligence isn't that high, so we're just going to slap on something to boost our int up by 2, such as the imp cat head. Now we'll run over and we'll kill it with this. Put that on. And another one. God damn. It's funny, I think there were like 2 of these here in the launch version. Like, oh, well, we don't want to give them a puzzle without at least giving them 11 chances to wake. So we're just dropping those all over the place. Alright, so before we smack it, we're going to go ahead and buff up. Put on that. Put on Flame Protect Me. Put on this guy. Pull Mimic out. I have to probably be down to pull it out. Well, anyway, from here, just kind of stand on this block, then aim like that way. So you're going to L2. Oh, jumped. You're going to use that ash and then use your light attack with it. So L2, R1. L2, R1. Doing is the ghost flames we're creating just really mess this guy up. I don't know if we're going to be able to... Oh, we can. Cool. While he's down, let's pump a little bit of damage here. But like I said, I mean, the perfume bottle is definitely the fastest at the moment. But this definitely isn't anything to scoff at. Like, it's, you know, it's getting the stagger very quickly. And it would be... It's pretty unlikely that they would nerf Death's Poker. That's been the same for a very long time, so I think that's a safe bet to keep around. Anyway, after doing that, head on in here. We're going to get a new spell, Giant Golden Arc. And then this next part will get us the Sword of Darkness. Now, very important step. Before you touch this altar or interact with it, I would very highly suggest that you have already gone through Fogrift Catacombs. And while in Fogrift Catacombs, obtained the Stone-Sheathed Sword. And the reason being that when we examine it here, it becomes the Sword of Darkness. There's also going to be a shrine that is roughly there, that we can go over to and turn the sword into this Sword of Light. But if for some reason this is the first time you've interacted with one of those shrines, you are going to get the base sword here, and then you'll have to go all the way down into the catacombs if you want to turn it into the Sword of Dark, and you can freely swap between light and dark back and forth. So because of that, it just makes more sense to have access to it here. In terms of the weapon, it's a decent weapon, but it recently got hit with a nerf. It used to go boom and do a hit, and then put out this big wave of darkness. The darkness does holy damage. It also increases the damage enemies take against holy. But unfortunately, the initial hit on it has been removed, so it doesn't have any stagger or hyper armor, which honestly just makes it a far cry from the competitor of the light sword, where the damage comes out near instantaneously. So unfortunately, unless they revert the Blade of Darkness back, I don't think it's going to be getting used anytime soon. But we're going to wrap things up here. Next episode, we're going to be making our way down the river, clearing a couple things over here, clearing a mausoleum, and making our way over to a new set of catacombs. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you soon with more.